Good evening, thank you. You've had a full day of people speaking to you. And I have jumped my queue because I was supposed to be here much later. But I was too excited to be here, so I came in much earlier. And I have to leave a little early, so you'll have to excuse me. But I'll be quite quick and brief because you've had some amazing sessions today. And I was particularly enthused by the session which you had on financing. Frankly, if you ask me, that's a core section to see this subject taking forth. You know, this morning there was a very interesting ad which you all would have seen. You know which one I'm talking about? AI is not about coding, it's about collaboration. I thought that was a brilliant ad which was there. You know, I'm just about 140 days into this job of mine. And I was just speaking to somebody in the other room and I was telling them, what is happening in India is fascinating. I'll give you a small example of what happened. So 140 days in this job, and I thought, let me try and find out what this platform is about. What is the power of this platform? And I told the team that let's do a hackathon. And I'll tell you about this platform a little later. After that, I have to tell you what happened. And they told me, sir, that this is not a good time to do it. Diwali chuttis, puja chuttis, schools will be closed, people are not ready. I said, let's try and do it anyway. We closed the hackathon week before last. In the middle of all the vacations, 350,086 schools, 10,02,860 teachers, 25,91,112 students, and 293,821 prototypes have already been submitted. The Guinness Book of World Records, the Guinness Book of World Records is now taking this as the world's largest hackathon. This is when India was closed. And you know what was interesting? 3 weeks ago, the hackathon was on. And I remember my colleague is standing here, Astha, and she was one of those. We said, let's create a jingle for it. And they created a jingle on AI, which is fascinating, which I don't know how we'll play it for you, but otherwise. But I'll tell you what happened. 3 weeks ago, I was sitting in my puja, the hackathon is on, this is in the morning. I kept getting a call, I didn't answer it. The third time I got it, I called back. This was a young kid from a village called Jhajjar in Rajasthan, from a small government school. One, he found out my mobile number. Two, he called me and said, sir, मुझे एक problem है. मेरे पास 3 प्रोटोटाइप हैं, टीचर मुझे सिर्फ एक देने के लिए तैयार कर रही है. What we are not realizing, this is a new India which is taking shape. The kind of solutions which are coming from there are solutions which are actually implementable, which are frugal, which are executable, which are easily adaptable, which are giving solutions not just for their local problems, but solutions which can go across the world. The Honorable Prime Minister launched the Atal Innovation Mission in 2016. It's now the world's largest grassroots innovation mission. 1 crore young entrepreneurs have already passed through it. We have innovation labs in 10,000 schools. We are opening in another 50,000 schools in the next 24 months. We have over 100 incubators. We are opening another 60 incubators. And the interesting story of these incubators is, I have over 24 incubators which are in small towns and cities. These incubators are working with the women's help group there, the social issues. These incubators are creating startups which are now your social unicorns. They're not about $1 billion. They're about 1 billion people and 1 billion hearts. And they are changing their lives. From somebody who's using a jackfruit entire thing, that how can it be used for medicine, how can it be used for food, and using AI to make it happen with the entire women self-help group, to somebody else who's trying to see how we can bring in more vitamin D in your wheat, which you get processed in it. This country is changing by the minute. And this change is being brought to you by no one in this room. It is a new generation. And a new generation which is building for you a new India. You know, yesterday I was with the global board of Hitachi. They're visiting India because they're looking at India as one of their top countries in the world. And the head of their HR, global HR, was present. And after we had spoken, she asked me, so Mr. Bagla, tell me what are Indian youth looking for? There's only one word. And you know, when we had my ex-colleague Astha, and when I say ex, because my previous life, we worked with Invest India, and when all of them joined us by taking huge pay cuts, I said what the youth in India is looking for is just one word: purpose. You give them that purpose, they will be with you. And that purpose is to create the next superpower of the world. As I told you, for me, this job has been eye-opening. When you're with that youth and when you're with those startups, and you know, the G20 startups this year, the G20 mission in South Africa, the 2 startups they've chosen as the startups of the year, both are from the Atal Incubation Mission incubators. Both of them working on sustainability. And when I gave you these statistics of these youth, the hackathon was on Viksit Bharat. And did any of you hear about it? No. This happened without any advertising. Can you sense what is happening in this country? And it's no longer a secret, and it's no longer quiet. This movement, ladies and gentlemen, has now taken shape and got momentum. So I will leave you all just with a thought that what you are now getting ready for is a completely unbeaten territory of a new India, of a country which is problem solving on steroids. And you know what is the basic strength of India? They asked me that yesterday. Another question, and I'll end with this one. They said, what do you say? Because I was explaining to them that the next power of engine of growth of India will come from the 70 million MSMEs and the 333 million self-employed. And they asked me, what is the strength of your MSME? And what is the strength of your self-employed? And there's only one answer: the ability of an Indian to get a job done, regardless of the resources available. They do it. That is the strength of this country. So thank you very much for giving me this time. I'm sorry I came in a little earlier, but I did want to say that we are all blessed that we are here at a time when it is so exciting. Thank you again.